Double, double, toil and trouble. Grant me some witches, reduce the rubble. Well, that didn't go as planned. Though for some reason I'm craving bread. Witches, an ever-classic spooky Halloween trope. With large pointy hats, a cauldron for their magic, and tricks and spells galore, they are an iconic part of the holiday spirit. Although nowadays, we see them far more varied than just the kind of cliched description, it tends to come to mind when one thinks witch. Now in games, we've had several special witches with all manner of designs, personalities, and even moralities, each with their own history and abilities. Today, I'm going to list 10 of who I would think are some of the best in video games. As long as they practice dark magic and have curses, spells, or even spirits employed, they are viable candidates. I'm Zmurcielago, and this is my top 10 witches in video games. Before we begin, let's just address the gamut in the room. Yes, Ms. Rebel is a Mickey Mouse villain, and obviously Mickey Mouse is a timeless cartoon character who just so happens to have video games, not a video game series. However, Miserable was created specifically to be the villain of the Sega Genesis video game Mickey Mouse in the Castle Illusion. And not only that, but she was also played the main villain role in Epic Mickey Power of Illusion on the 3DS. Now, moving on. To put it short and sweet, this bitch is the Ben 10 of the Disney universe. She can become Scar, Cruella, Hades, the Evil Queen, Gaston, and Maleficent. Surely with all these abilities, she's just going to be the most powerful witch on here, right? Well, about that. The reason Miserable is so low on this list is because she's a case of incredible potential, all wasted. After that display of basically being a Disney villain changeling, she sticks to the Maleficent form and commits to it the rest of the game. We don't even get to see her original hag form beyond a cameo appearance at the very start of the game. Hopefully Disney will come back and actually use this concept to its fullest. And it's a very neat idea, but until that day comes, she'll have to settle for being at the bottom of the list. Originally, I was going to put Kamek on this list, but he is a wizard, not a witch. Though it doesn't matter what his gender is, he would be a witch regardless if he had more witchy abilities instead of flinging a wand around. However, the Mario series has given us a witch before. It all started with Princess Peach's voice being stolen by the evil Kekletter and her minion, Fawful. Yes, that Fawful, who got to start as her number 2. So how does this franchise's most iconic original character boss hold up? Well, admittedly, she can be a bit on the generic side, but this is being a Mario and Luigi game. She's pretty zany herself. From tricking the Mario Bros. And dispelling a security barrier by fixing the castle's plumbing to pursue a cross-dressing Luigi to... Regardless, she's still a fun character and a blueprint to a formula that would later go on to be some of the most memorable stuff we'd find in this beloved franchise. Kekletta crawled so Fawful could do the 100-meter sprint, and so I'm gladly placing her here on this list. Next on our list are the Sorceress Sisters, the witches Kotake and Kome. Now, individually, they're quite a serious threat already, as they're both powerful witches who have all manner of spells at their disposal, using either their respective elements, such as fire and ice, or even darkness, as well as the ability to brainwash anyone, as we've seen them do with Nabaru throughout the Spirit Temple. But when they become a single entity known as Twinrova, that their power is at its peak, being capable of utilizing both fire and ice magic and alternating or mixing and matching as they see fit. It's also worth noting that they wise up to your tactics to beat them. In Ocarina of Time, you use the Mirror Shell to absorb the same elemental attack 3 times in a row to blast it right back at them to stun them. But after a couple of hits with that, they start swapping elements to force you to take a hit from the wrong one. If that's not enough, we gotta look into The Legend of Zelda historical Seasons and Ages, where these two are actively trying to resurrect Ganondorf and orchestrate the events of both games to power a ritual in which you killing the final bosses of both games is all a part of their plan, along with the capture and ritual sacrifice of Princess Zelda herself. Now, thankfully, the ritual fails as you're able to rescue Zelda, but they are quick to perform a last-ditch effort and sacrifice themselves through a boss bout against you to ensure the revival happens anyway. The King of Evil is no joke, and even the most powerful tyrant can't even get there without learning how to. And these two clearly show just where Ganondorf got it from. Don't mess with your grandmas, people. Pokemon is a beloved franchise spanning nearly 3 decades at the time of writing this list, and there are many types of Pokemon with all manner of flavor text describing them, from cute and cuddly to literally God himself. So it's no surprise that there are one type of Pokemon known as ghost types. These usually relate more to death or the occult or other such darker fantasy elements, and in this type, there can only be one that I can think of that fits the bill of a witch. The Gen 4 evolution of Joe's Misdreavus, Mismagius. Mismagius is a pure ghost type, and let's get the point here out of the way. Just look at it. The thing's got witch written all over it. The pointy hat, its body's akin to a dress, odd jewelry on its chest. It's got the whole 9 yards just by the appearance alone. But I wouldn't put it on this list if it just stopped there. Mismagius is known for its curses and hexes, usually to cause problems for unwitting people or other Pokemon. Provoke them, and you're going to be cursed just like any of the others. It's definitely a mischievous and possibly malicious Pokemon, but its whimsy as well as its ability to play nice with others for a more mutual beneficiary arrangement makes it not unlike the kind of witch that keeps her hometown safe in exchange for assistance in her spells and magics. And you know what? I think I'll take that any day over some of the other ghosts on this list. It's time to hear a story you've heard about a bear and his partner bird. They sought to defeat a wicked witch, and their victory went off without a hitch. This lady, all green, who sought true beauty, would take to stealing from little old Tootie. Like miserable earlier, the motive the same, but grant you fair, more memorable within this game. With spells abound and speaking many a rhyme, she entertains all players every single time. Defeat did not stop her, death only slowed when she came back and claimed vengeance owed. From witch to spirit to bones galore, even just ahead she came back for more. Gruntilda Winky Bunyan, she makes us laugh, but think her weak, wait for the next half. Threatening, dangerous, and blood on her hands, her minions in tech bring plague to the lands. An expert in magic, an army to boot, brings terror to all cause she wants to be cute. It's been a while, the duo no games, yet we not have one if not for her aims. So with my pride, I slot her in 6. She's truly worthy of this mix. To fail to place her in the top 10 list would render this thing an opportunity missed. I did that all in one take, yes!
こんな世界に迷い込むなんて運がなかったわね。あなたの悲運を仕組んだ愚かな神を恨みなさい。塵も残さず焼き尽くしてあげる。
Oh, Blaze Blue, what a fucking weird series you are. A mess to play, even more to understand. But you can't deny it has some very cool stuff in it, like flashy supers, high-acting action, cat girls, and whatever the fuck you are. Among those is one of the series' more behind-the-scene antagonists, and something of a third party to the fray, 9, the Phantom. Now, I wasn't kidding about the plot being a mess. It's a worthy opponent for Kingdom Hearts, so I won't be delving too deep into it, but I will explain a bit for 9. Formerly one of the 6 heroes who helped take down the Black Beast, 9 created the 12 super weapons called the Nox Nectoris, and would be the single most powerful mage across the entire series' time span. She's also kind of a bitch and takes no bullshit from anyone. However, she was forcibly put under a powerful spell by Izanami to turn her into a ghastly entity called Phantom. Can't speak, and has even had that moment where she'd turn against those who try to control her and undermine their plans. As once the spell is broken, she's now taking an active role in destroying this reality to create a new one where she and Celicia can just live peacefully and happily without her sister being constantly targeted for one reason or another. So while she's not the threat, she's still a threat that Ragna and the others have to deal with. And in terms of gameplay, she really can't back up the whole series' strongest mage, but that you have to know how to play her. She has one of the slowest walk speeds in the game, an overly complex drive ability, a short teleport dash instead of a proper one, and abysmal health, which on its own is a recipe for bottom tiers. Yet, she's either one or outright the highest tiered character in competitive, and for a good reason. She's difficult to play, but she has such an obscene variety of combos and strategies she can implement that a player who did all the practice with her and understands every last thing she can do has the means to command the entire battlefield and force an outright or ignore dodge attacks to set her foe up for devastation. And her power is no joke. If you want to be the best mage, you need to actually be the best. Powerful Witch, powerful Legacy, a monster in-game in the right hands, and with surprisingly soft side in the right context. 9 has it all to make a case for among the best.
If there's someone you deem deserving of a curse, don't hesitate to seek me out.
Introducing everyone's favorite waifu from Fire Emblem, Tharja. Now, Tharja is not a pleasant person, to be sure, but she doesn't give a bullshit either. She's not interested in dying for a cause she doesn't believe in or picking a fight with people she's told are her enemies, and as she puts it, I've always been quite good at choosing who to hate on my own. While she lacks the extremities of someone like Nine or the humor of someone like Gruntilda, Tharja fits the mold in a more traditional sense. By that I mean she gathers various ingredients of dubious natures and uses them to concoct hexes and spells that perform all manner of curses. Curses she uses on people who tend to bother her for one reason or another, like one that gives you a cold or another one that forces you to speak truthfully. She is, however, not without her kinder side. Those who treat her as an ally or a friend often find her somewhat reluctantly using her magic for their benefit, like trying to track down lost parents, or repaying the resident villagers' repeated assistance by helping kill off a bad cold affecting everybody. She's not an altruistic person by any means, but she's got a good side to her, most exemplified with her rather enthusiastic approach to Robin, the player's avatar character. She still curses them if they piss her off, but she's very obsessive over Robin. Tharja's dark mage who has access to dark tomes that usually tend to have secondary and very painful effects, such as Nosferatu healing back damage she'd taken, thus increasing her own survivability, or the insanely long-range Mire. That alone would be something to be very wary of, but it only gets more dangerous from there. Her class line can go to Sorcerer or Dark Knight, and she can reap the benefits of both, permitting her to debuff her foes just for being in battle with her, enhance her attacks with her already lost HP, and if she kills her foe, recover half of her total health. It's likely to happen to her debuffs are focused on her foe's accuracy and evasion, while her own sets ensure she'll hit hard, hit fast, and even survive physical skirmishes for more than you'd expect from a magic user to handle. And that's without factoring in the abilities she can use on other classes she can access. Fire Emblem Awakening is known to be an easy game to break, and Tharja very easily demonstrates just how badly one can get away with breaking it. She may be a more traditional witch, but she just means she's not to be trifled with. Originally, I was going to put Savathun on here because she is known as the Witch Queen, but she's more well known for another title, the Hive God of Cunning and Trickery, because that's how she gains her power, from lies and deceit. So, instead of Savathun, I'm going with Eris Morn.
I separate the true from the dead. I am the many-mouthed hunger. I am the knife-edged truth. I devour the free. I conspire with my vengeance. I will take what I need. The words in my throat are the weapon in my fist. Hayat! Hayat! Hayat!
your tithes.
Now, Eris Moore might just look like a normal human with a bad case of the bleeding eyes, and a third eye, obviously, but she has been shown to use hive magic and just magic in general. From casting spells to using rituals to bring back haunted versions of the dead, Eris has shown plenty of skill in hive magic as a witch. Hell, she's even become a hive god herself, the hive god of vengeance. And I understand how some people could be like, oh, well, what else makes her a witch, in quotations? Well, she carries a bunch of her odd jewelry around her, even on her desk in the Shadowkeep expansion area of the moon. She has tons of books, especially within her throne world. Like, I swear, she has like 5 Smithsonian's worth of library books. Like, it is a lot. And the reason she's able to do all this is because of just how close to the hive she actually is. Before she was this 3-eyed, bleeding witch, she and 5 others went down into the moon to stop Crota. Her other 5 team members died, and she only left to survive with basically nothing. She ripped the eyes out of an acolyte and put it into her own skull, and essentially survived just barely by getting out of the moon by crawling through. She is so close to the hive. She has literally pulled us out of the moon because we couldn't transmute ourselves out of there through a magic spell. She's also used her power to entrap a memory of Oryx within her own throne world. It is insane how actually powerful Eris is if you look through the lore. But for now, I'm just glad that we have Eris' mom here to be on our side. Thanks, Mom. I'm sorry you're disappointed in me.
The Hive know this truth as well as any logic. I am here, and they are not. Ayat.
Will you quit calling me Mummy?
Spouting legs for days and bullets that don't seem to end, Bayonetta finally shows up on this list. As an Umbra witch, Bayonetta possesses so much power, from stopping time to going into Umbran Climax to use her infernal weaves. She also is able to turn into multiple animals, panthers, crows, bats, and even a snake. And then there's the torture attacks, which I am not showing on YouTube because I don't want to get demonetized. And of course, we can't talk about Bayonetta without talking about her summonings of infernal demons. These monsters are just crazy to watch as they kill angels. And granted, in the second game, they kind of bounce out of her control and she has to deal with it herself. She does gain new ones in the second and the third game, mostly referred to as the Demon Masquerade, which she can put that ability into her body and transform to humanoid versions of the demons themselves. With all these and more, Bayonetta truly shows that she is a very powerful witch and honestly deserves this number 2 spot. However, the number 1 spot is placed for someone especially for me.
Let us go together, my dear consort eternal.
I know I'm supposed to talk about how powerful Witch is, but this whole segment is just going to be me gushing about Ranni, because Ranni's one of my favorite characters in Elden Ring, and I love her so much. I have New Game Plus to Elden Ring at least 10 times, and out of the 7, I am her eternal consort in 7 different playthroughs. Though I will admit, marrying Ranni so many times has made Shadow of the Erdtree extremely difficult. And I'm stuck at her aunt, which is quite ironic.
That's a huge bitch!
Now, granted, a lot of her power isn't shown, it is told to you through other dialogue and stuff you can find throughout the world, like the fact that she was chosen by the Two Fingers to be an Empyrean and a successor to her own mother. Her other siblings have mastered magic as well, such as gravity magic to hold up the stars, some weird snake magic to become a giant snake for a snake god, and similar to her mother, Ranni can summon monsters to her area and even fire a projection of the moon at you. So yeah, number 1 is Ranni. I know there's not a lot to talk about here, and there's honestly a better way to explain this. I'm just gushing about one of my favorite characters in Elden Ring, and probably my favorite witch, and the best witch in all of video games. I am Z Murcielago, and now I have the feeling to just go play Elden Ring again. Bye-bye.